right. Everybody ready?
Let's do it.
All right, and go.
Oh, here we go.
I might just let this play. Welcome to the KDKO podcast. Week 3 heading into week 4. Thank you, Jason, for that lovely intro music.
You're welcome. I was overruled between that or Birthday Sex by Jeremiah, but this was better.
This is a very special KVKL podcast. We're doing a crossover with our friends of Birthday Bros. To my immediate left is David D-Chuck Owens.
Hey.
Then we have a special guest, Angela the Impaler Finch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for clapping for me.
I love that nickname, Impaler. By the way, that's thanks to Isaac Combs, or your former teammate, for that nickname from several years ago. Thank you, Isaac, for revealing that.
Yeah, plus it's a good role reversal for the patriarchy. Next to Angela, we have Simon Master Race Skinner.
Oh, my gosh.
What is that about?
And to his left, we have the infamous Jason Cougar Huang.
I am the genie in the bottle, but not Christina Aguilera way. No.
You're not going to rub me the right way, honey?
No, I'm not going to rub you the right way, no.
All right.
I'm not going to get dirty then, Marisa. Stop it.
All right, so quick announcements. This week, because we have Game of the Week and because Parks and Rec is weird, we are switching YSC 1 through 4 to the Holcomb Fields.
Boo.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think that short fence at Holcomb left is in play for whatever game that is.
Noise.
So, now I'm feeling really good about that 2.5 home run bet that we made during the betting podcast.
Oh, no.
Also, since we're going back to Game of the Week, we're also going back to shed pickup. So good news, bad news. So the home teams at 5 o'clock have to come by the shed at Art Emergency on 9th.
Boo.
So that means all the captains.
To come pick up our stuff.
Yeah.
Cleanup, I think, has been emailed to captains, and it's like it was, first come, first serve. 4 teams are designated. Yeah.
Oh, God, I haven't paid attention to that at all.
Yeah, Honey Badgers, Triple X. I can't remember who the other ones were. So we're going to switch things up this week in honor of our Birthday Bros guests and plow through the scores. And then if anybody in the audience wants to talk about their game, they can come up to the mic and do so. But then we're going to get heavy into discussion. So without ado, scores. Honey Badgers, Nat King Cold Cocked Jazz House, 14-4. 23rd Street Puff Puff gave Hookah House all they could handle, 20-7. JDEVEAT, the late fees, 8-zip. Muddy Water boarded Louise's, thanks Adam Mitchell for that, 26-zip. Red Legs Rabona Empire, 21-zip.
That's funny.
Corksuckers KO'd the R-Bar, and we're just going to call them the R-Bar Rum Runners, I think, from now on, since we got the pirate thing going. 12-3. Love Garden didn't quite anger bang Brutang. We could probably call it like a mildly upset bang. 21-8. Sacred Sword circumcised kicking assets. 26-8. I got you.
Yeah.
Harpies alliterated the Reading Rocket. 16-6. Shirt Factory squeaked by Drop Stoppers. 4-3. Red Lion Tavern, Shotgun Young Spine, 12-6. Tree Care Cornholed the D-Holes, 11-2. Post House Shizaga Stomped Free State, 25-1. And Woost Raw Dogged Poshwash, 9-7.
Can we get rid of that association right now?
We also had Bunt and Grind Burn Down the Home Loan, 17-zip. The Porn Spatulas Indecently Exposed Asteroid Head, 11-4. Johnny's was on the spot against the Mahomies, 29-3. And last but not least, Soda jerks off the ghosts 8-6.
It felt good.
Yeah,
Oh, that's too far? That's
not enough people here speak German. I think that's the problem. Does anybody want to talk about their game?
So we're gonna dive into some of the games during our discussion as well.
Yep.
But one thing about the Birthday Bros podcast is that Simon and I share the same birthday, which is where the origin came from.
yeah.
Happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Love you, bro.
Love you too. So what we do is we really like to talk about how people can get better, how teams can get better in the league. So today we're going to break down where does your team stand as we finish up the preseason here. So where does your team stand, meaning are you in the bottom 5? Are you in the bottom half, the mid, the top half, or are you a top 5 team? And so we'll kind of dive into some different things if you're falling into one of those categories, what you could do to improve, and then we'll also dive into some of the things about the game. So why don't we start with the bottom 5?
The Guppies.
Cougar?
Oh, that's me.
Cougar.
As a veteran of someone who's the bottom
Good
5
segue.
team, that was very well.
So
What's the questions?
now let's talk about what are maybe some common issues that a team in the bottom 5 has. And it's something that if you guys have any input or games that you think added value to, hey, this was how this team beat us, feel free to hop up to the mic.
Well, there's one obvious question. This is not disparage to all of my teammates and the rest of the teams there. There's one simple word: talent. That's one. Yeah.
All right.
It's true, Marisa. We don't have talent, okay?
Your center fielder's bad. Don't give yourself enough credit, man. You guys played a pretty good game against Johnny's.
We can't hear you if you're not at the mic.
We don't. Yeah, you're right. We didn't get shut out by Johnny's.
Actually,
That's
I take
true.
that back,
We got
Katie.
3 runs.
Usually we can't hear you from the audience.
Here's Matthew Cosgrove about the Ghost.
So, Cougar, as I was reffing your game,
Yes,
your
sir.
center fielder was just literally hurting himself so much. We almost had to pull him from the game because he's just catching everything and hurting himself.
Yeah,
Sounds
But
like
the whole
Blake.
time you're yelling at him.
No, I'm not yelling at him. That's not true. I was
that's-
yelling at my other teammates. Weren't to be yelled at, but no, not him. Because he's our best player talent-wise, but he's injured because he did a MMA fight that Saturday, and he's injured. But as a trooper he is, and probably not for the best well-being, he's still out there trying to play center field. But he dropped a couple of catches. My gosh, the Johnny's Tavern, the ladies just ate the outfielders for lunch, especially Jesse going 5 for 5. But
Cougar, you were telling your outfielders to move in when the girls were there, and they were
a
crushing
little bit, yeah, but not that much. But I told them
The-
like,
the
I
late-
move a little bit, still move back a little
The
bit.
Johnny's ladies were kicking it over your guys'
were.
heads more than the Johnny's
They were,
guys.
you're right. But the right fielder was crunching in too much. I told him not to. But Ryan, our center fielder was doing the best he can. But basically it's talent.
Well, yeah. So thank you for the elaboration. But hey, let's talk about
subject.
let's talk about understanding maybe your position, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Are people paired? Are people put into the right spot? So do you know if you're an infielder or an outfielder, or do you switch around every game? Do you play a different position?
So let's start off with, where do you put your most experienced players? What position? In general.
In general,
Yeah.
here's
I think the better first question is, where do you put the players that are about to retire because they can't move very fast anymore?
Center field.
Coach.
That's where I am.
Really interesting.
yeah.
All right. So yeah, where do you put your best player?
I put, I'd say, the most experienced players there. I would say at third base, at pitcher, and I'll say at first base. Unfortunately, our team doesn't have the flexibility to move players to other positions there because I've known these players long enough where certain players, clearly they're outfielders. Other players, clearly they're infielders. I just leave it as is. I don't try to mix it up.
Okay.
Because I know their talents and their acumen. Where like if you put this outfielder on the infield, not going to go well. With infield, the outfield, not going to go well. Even though we're getting their brains beat every week.
So hey, I'm going to cut you off, Cougar, and I'm going to let Simon and Angela, who are obviously they're on the top teams here, kind of give some advice in this situation.
Please
okay,
do.
so
Please do.
where are you guys putting your top talent, and how are you actually assessing what position they should play?
Go ahead, Angela.
One thing I look at, and I don't know a lot about your team, Cougar, but I would ask, like, do you have a lot of new players on your team, and do they have I think before you start with, you just throw out the word talent, do they have a basic understanding of the rules of the game and those little idiosyncrasies?
Yeah.
Like, you can't run through second base. I've seen so many players this year run straight through second base and, they don't stop. Same thing at third base. So I think teaching kind of those little things first and just the basic understanding of how the game works is a good place to start.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's your team, but a lot, like, for instance, my stepbrother plays on Home Loans or Little Rascals, the new team, and this is their first year playing. So a lot of them, it's like they're shell-shocked. They don't really know what's going on. So I think a good place to start would be, explaining what every position would be, and that's kind of what David was talking about. And how you would assess, like, you have a team of players who have never played before. For instance, like, you want to put one of your better players at third, look at maybe their past with sports, like, were they a goalie in the past? Do they have a really good arm? Are they good with reflexes, or are they really fast? They can track a ball in the outfield and know how to catch, like, played football or things like that. So that's something that I would look for when picking, like, where players should go on the field.
Right.
What about you, Simon?
Yeah, so for me, the decision is, like, so if you're picking up a brand new player who's never played kickball before, are you looking for a football player, basketball player, soccer player, baseball player? And number one for me is, do they have softball or baseball background? It's much easier to explain the rules of kickball to someone who has a background in baseball or softball. Obviously, the best hybrid player would be someone who grew up playing soccer and baseball or softball.
Or elementary kickball.
Or, yeah, maybe.
Our rules are totally fucking different from that.
But I feel like elementary kickball, you could have just a kid who's just hit puberty first, and he's just like, I'm the best kickball player ever.
It's kind of like for KVKL, you want somebody who is a hybrid soccer/baseball or softball and also has a PhD in figuring out complex rules.
Right, yeah.
Well, I think that people don't give basketball enough credit in kickball and how it translates over, because the relationship between being able to pick a ball up and chest pass it, or, just having those reflexes, I think having a basketball background and being able to cut makes a big difference in playing kickball.
For sure. And I think if you talk about big ball versus our league, small ball, it's less of a factor as far as the chest pass goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Yeah, because I can't chest pass worth a shit.
So let's talk about practice. Practice.
Not
So,
the game. Not the game.
yeah, I would just
Happy
say,
birthday,
if
Allen Iverson.
you are somebody who is brand new, embrace the discomfort of a kick around, going to a practice. Like, as much as it sucks to be in front of a whole lot of new people and drop a ball, or, whatever that experience may be, kick a bunch of balls, pop-ups, or whatever it may be, embracing it is, like, really important, because it could be like Angela's first game, which was Hobbs.
It was game of the week, first game. I had no idea. I was recruited by JP on Channel 6. He's like, yeah, show up at Hobbs, 9 p.m., no big deal. Show up, and there's like 200 people there. And I'm like, what the
NBD.
fuck is this shit? Like,
Right.
So my first kick, pulled my quad, and never missed a game ever since then. So we're here.
That's like a familiar first game injury.
Yeah.
All right, so the question is, when you have a lot of bad players on your team, where do you put them?
Right.
If you're asking me,
I'm not asking you to.
No, we should. Yeah. Go ahead, Cougar. Go ahead, Cougar. Where would you put
No,
it?
okay. As far as like the not so good players, or at least the least experienced players, I would put them, if I was the outfielder, I would put them more at right field. It's because at left field, I feel like that's where more balls would go to get the righties. I would always put them at rover. I would put them at like second base, and regrettably, if need be, they're putting up a catcher. And unfortunately, with my team, is like kind of limited for catcher. That's a pretty important position. It's a really important position. But with the limited, the players, the experience, and stuff like that, I had to put someone totally new to have to basically learn catcher on the fly, and that's just not by design. It's part of necessity. So,
do you feel like a catcher makes a lot of decisions, though, or do you feel like catcher's more of athletic ability?
I think catchers can make a lot of decisions. Like case in point, as far as you got to communicate with the third baseman, with the pitcher, as far as fielding bunts, is like who gets it, and then also like where to go with the ball, whether you throw it to second or go to the third, or if there's a potential play at the plate there that the catcher has to decipher whether he or she should either stay at home, literally at home, or charge the ball and like have someone cover home after him. So no, I do. You have to make decisions there. As a catcher. That's why it's really important, which is why it stinks for our team that I have to basically put someone basically new at catcher because of limited talents, and basically learn on the fly. And any mistakes, I tell them, okay, now you know in the future, when this happens, do this. Because I can give a whole encyclopedia of what to do, but he won't know, he or she won't know until they actually experience it, and they're really mistakes. Like, okay, now in the future, I won't do that.
Well, let's ask this then. So if you only have a few good players, where are you putting that person in the outfield? What's the most important spot in the outfield?
Center
field.
Center field, okay. Yeah. And then what about in the infield? If you only have maybe two good players in the infield, where are you going to put those players?
I'm putting third and first. First and third.
Yeah,
First and
third and
at
first.
the corners.
First and third.
It might depend on who you're playing too, though, because in the upper echelons, catcher is a very important position because there are so many effective bunters. But if you're in the bottom five and trying to work your way out of the bottom five, I think catcher is much more expendable. You want first, third, and pitcher because, frankly speaking, the people who you'll be playing in the bottom five aren't as good at bunting, and they'll probably get them deeper. And so you want your talent in the at the corners of the infield and at the pitcher spot. The catcher doesn't really have to make that many decisions, to Simon's point, I guess.
So for me, like you just need like a team leader in the infield and a team leader in the outfield. And so for me, usually the most experienced player, not the most talented athletically, is their center field because you can direct where left field is, where right field is. You could even talk to your shortstop, your second baseman, and say, hey, I'm covering second base on this play. Whereas on the infield, I feel like the pitcher has to make the most decisions for the infield.
And the center fielder likewise probably has to make the most too.
Right.
They'll be
And you
covering
can direct
second
people,
sometimes
yeah.
and so on.
So is pitcher more important than third base?
As far as making plays, no. But as far as directing traffic, directing plays, yes.
Okay.
That's just my opinion, though.
I think that's strategy based too. Like I know you guys have a female pitcher, and sometimes do you use bunt stop or you have her cover like up one?
Yeah, we do bunt stop, but a lot of times we don't pull our rover over. We just literally just move our second baseman
Okay,
up. Yeah.
so we, on KTC we have Kenny. I mean, he's like arguably the best player in the league at pitcher, and the reason we do that is like you were saying. He controls the game. I mean, he's making a lot of decisions, communicating with the outfield and going to get that cut off if Lou's not on that left side. And one of the reasons we have him there is because, and he made a play on Sunday that you saw that was like once in a lifetime. And Kenny's making those plays all the time, but that's why we have him at pitcher because he's able to do that. He's so athletic, and it takes away having that extra person at bunt stop because he's so good at covering basically everything within like a 10-foot radius on the left and right. So
100%, yeah.
And
for sure.
That gives you more flexibility
Totally.
at the catcher position too.
Yeah.
Kenny's play was ridiculous. It was like
So
the ball was
let's
lined at
describe,
him.
yeah.
He just tapped it, and then he turned around and blind dove behind him to catch it without even knowing where the ball was, and it landed right in his hands.
Okay, sorry, describe that again. I'm not quite getting that.
It was lined right at him.
Okay.
He shot his hand out and tipped it up in the air, and then he turned the opposite direction from the way his hand shot out and blind dove behind him towards the ball, like 180 degrees back, to catch it without knowing where the ball was popped up.
Right. But
So
so
he's,
how
like,
do we help
rolling on the
mere
ground.
mortals in this
Yeah.
game? That's what we're here for.
I
How do
think
we help mere mortals
probably
get better
going
at
to
this
kidnap Kenny, steal his DNA, and then manufacture some new players.
They've already got 1.5 kids, so they're on their way up. But
Right. I had a quick thought here too, because I think another answer to your question, David, is that some of Cougars players' best players are actually playing for different teams instead of a position on his. And
true.
that's something that unfortunately just happens to bottom 5 teams. And so part of the question, maybe it's unavoidable, but part of the question is how do you keep those people on your team if you're going to sneak out of the bottom 5?
You can't.
And
We
that's
cannot.
not-
and look, this is part of the reason I think what Lady Bird has done has been so incredible, because they were the worst team in the league, and they slowly worked their way up, and now they are in contention for a 1 seed, without losing a whole bunch of people. And I mean, the secret recipe there might be youth and social networking. Yeah.
And here's Austin from Johnny's.
Yeah, I'm Austin from Johnny's. Our first, dang, that's not nice. Our first year we started out 0-5, I believe, and we were in the 6s and we swept. And to answer your question, it's retention completely. You have to build an atmosphere where people want to come back next year. You have to go out with your team on the weekend. You have to sit together, game of the week. You have to just like build each other up. We've lost a lot of players over the last 5 years, but we still have like the main core, and we're arguably top 5, top 10 in the league now. And we started out 0-5, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to hold on
Attention.
to them. That might be the most important thing.
I got something to say about Johnny's. These guys, and I love this fucking guy here.
This is Ricky speaking.
Rick from Jazz House and Fall Ball Kickball League in this particular place. The first season that we started Fall Ball in 2012, this guy brought the KU Rugby Club in to play Fall Ball. And he had some of the best athletes we've ever seen on a kickball diamond, and they had no idea what to do. And it was hilarious. You would see him make an incredible catch in the outfield. Amazing. And then throw to the wrong base and let 2 runners score.
Yeah.
And so he's had his work cut out for him, but he's always had good athletes on his teams.
Yeah, and I think that really is a good point for the newer teams. Like, if you guys have some athletes and you're struggling, oh God, just keep going.
And who is this?
Hey, this is Sean from Louise's. We literally have a KU rugby player that was with Austin, and he fucking threw the wrong fucking base, but he threw it on a fucking dime though. It was fucking right there.
So that might just be a rugby thing.
I mean, they're not the smartest
Not
guys.
the smartest.
So basketball, soccer, baseball, not rugby. Not rugby. Super athletes.
Although I will throw in an aside here, CrossFit took their lumps. They seem to have kept most of the same people and actually added a couple, and they look a lot better than they did.
R-Bar, they're called R-Bar now.
Was CrossFit, and they seem better now than they were last time around.
They blew out Rockets the first week. I mean,
Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're a couple players away from like inching into the 20 spot.
Well, let's dive into the bottom half and kind of the mid tier here. So we've got Matt here. How about the Ghost? What's going on with the Ghost this year?
Because we're going
Well,
to
hey,
each
so
tier.
we're
Katie.
talking-
We're going to each tier. We're going from the bottom five, like my team, to your
Because
team.
hey, so fill us in what happened in the last game.
I'm really butthurt about losing that game. I'm not gonna lie. But Derek and I were talking before the game started, and we were saying I think we've played at least once, if not twice, a year for the last 6 years, not counting the forfeits that we had to take from them. But I think we've only beat them once, maybe twice. So it's always a competitive game. We're always evenly matched, and our kicking's not so great. Speaking of practicing, we took some kicking practice after our game today, or on Sunday, and had like 7 or 8 of us out there doing some kicking practice after. But speaking of Sean from Louise's, we have them this week, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried.
Yeah,
I'm a little
see,
scared.
if you guys lose to the Louises, you're going to have to come back and tell us what it's like to be a bottom 5 team.
I don't know. But I mean, in our defense and retention, talking about retaining a team, like most of our team are OG ghosts. We've got 4 or 5 OG ghosts on our team that have 15-year plus players that have been on the team. 5 or 6 plus players on the team. A lot of us don't really hang out. We just gel when we play on a Sunday or hang out at Game of the Week, and we shit talk and tell each other happy birthday on our Facebook page, and we just like playing with each other, and that's what it's really all about more than anything, I think.
So, it's Matt Cosgrove.
Matt Cosgrove.
Here. Yeah,
Hold on,
hey,
it's
hey,
just
okay.
Cosgrove.
So,
Did you raid Rip Torn's wardrobe, or what's going on with that
What?
shirt, man?
hey,
Straight out of Miami
knew
Vice.
you knew me. So,
You look good. You look
no, what kind of happened with our last game is we had basically we're not very organized. And
It's just the too many people problem.
well, no, we don't have too many people. No, we have a pretty good like minimum. What happened was we had some players that weren't just like we didn't know if they were showing up. We kind of forgot. We got drunk. Oh, this guy said he wasn't going to be here next week. Last minute lineup changes, and so we're having issues. We had a couple issues with that game with base running, and if we didn't have those issues, we would have won that game. It was not our defense at all. Our defense was
Yeah, 4 to 3 is a.
our defense was
decent.
ghost
I repped the
defense.
game. It was decent.
But we had, as Cougar can say, we had plays where we should have been listening to our base coaches, or the coach should have spoke to the person kicking beforehand. And I think a lot of that when you improve that, you can move up.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. Let's
you.
talk about understanding what to do with kicking, right? Because I think when we all go up to bat, everybody has this vision of like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. Some people may not even have that, but really there's just kind of a breakdown of a couple kicks, right?
It's about production,
Yeah, so I mean you have a kick to get on,
right?
and you have a kick to advance the runner.
Yeah.
And then you have a kick to do both, I guess. If you're
Exactly, yeah.
if you're really good.
They're like those precious few in the league. They could just kick the balls out of it no matter what, and so it always works. But yeah,
Right.
So I guess walk me through like when a team says they struggle to score runs or to kick, what does that say to you? Like when you hear that as an issue, what do you think of as a solution?
They're not getting base runners on. So your leadoff, their number one goal is to not bunt. It's to not kick a home run. Their number one goal is to get on base. So your leadoff runner, leadoff kicker, I'm sorry, their goal is to get on base. And so it's whatever their strength is, whether they're a good bunter, whether they're a good kicker, their goal is to get on base. And so if you're not doing that, it doesn't matter where you are in your lineup, there's going to be guys who aren't really built, they're not built for being a leadoff kicker, right? So if you have a guy who normally kicks away, you're not going to make that guy bunt. If he's not a good bunter, don't tell him, hey, just bunt, man, just get on. No, you're going to tell that guy, kick a base kick, you know? Get on base.
So assess your leadoff runner. I think that's important.
Right, yes.
Leadoff kicker, yeah.
Well, here's one that even simpler than that. Just kick it fair. And I guess it's obvious there, but like unfortunately, in our game against Johnny's, it happens in the next game between Ghost and Soda Jerks. There was a player that fouled out. In our case, like he tried to bunt twice, and the game was already out of hand.
That's a
So I
30-pack. That's a 30-pack.
It's for a 30-pack, yeah. On our team, you know who you are. You probably owe a 30-pack. Not for me. I don't drink. After 2 punts, I was like, just kick away.
Hey Cougar, you were
What?
just asking for it. Now you have to take your shot because you said you don't drink. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, fine, I'll drink. Okay.
In Junior's defense, James got into his head, so.
No, don't blame James for that. That's Junior's fault. Don't blame James. No, don't blame James. That's on Junior. No.
I know. I might just be biased because we usually have a like line drive grounder kicker in the first spot, somebody with speed. But I hate the leadoff bunt because if you do it all the time, everybody knows it's coming, and when you get to the top, you really kind of need the is he or isn't he, as opposed to everybody knowing what's coming, unless you were like a perfect bunter. And
Right.
I saw. I mean, when we watched when we watched some of the games on the Game of the Week broadcasts, it's just the leadoff bunter just wasn't getting it done. He was getting out every time.
Jazz House wasn't getting on. No.
Yeah, same thing in the Shirt Factory Red Legs game. Shirt Factory was
Shirt
bunting
Factory,
leadoff
no.
every time, never making it.
Free State, too. Couldn't get on. Could not get on, no.
Well, and you talk about, like you said, you use the word production, and this might pertain to more newer players, but I think other players who have been in the league a long time too, they base their value on how many times they get on base or how many times they score themselves. But if you have base runners and they're in a scoring position and you score them, that's just as good. I think you need to let people know RKIs are just as good as getting on base. And being able to advance a runner when you've got runners on 1 and 2 and you're able to kick to right field or bunt up 1 or whatever that is, let your players know how important that is, because me as a player, there's nothing more than seeing you get someone out who was in a scoring position that could have potentially scored over you. So I think that's what you mean by production and being able to string that together in, getting on base and then getting those players around the bases, whatever that takes.
Exactly.
And real quickly, to piggyback you said there, Angela, that's production as far as knowing what you're doing, getting runners to score. That's also on the captains to get these newer players to know what they're doing. Case in point, this happened in our game against Johnny's, and that was 100% my fault. It was running on second and third with no outs, and the guy, who fouled out, by the way, not the same at bat, he should have just kicked away and get the sacrifice fly. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention. I should have told him, put him to the side, hey, get it on the outfield, get productive outs, just so you can score this runner from third to the home. I didn't do that. Instead, he went with his usual with bunting, and he popped it out to the pitcher. And as soon as he realized that, I was like, oh, shit. And that was 100% my fault.
That's on you.
That's on me, yes.
Yeah.
And not having prepared what he's supposed to help the team. And what happened, fortunately, that inning, runners on second, third, no outs. He popped out. Next 2 got out. So runner on third was stranded. And I was so flipping mad about that. I was cursing myself. I was just 100% my fault. I even told, at the inning, I told the player that popped out, not being told to kick out in the outfield, hey, this one was 100% my fault. I should have told you to kick out there. He's like, no, it's me.
So one thing I'll just piggyback on that and just say is that a good approach if you're a team captain is just to ask your player, hey, what are you thinking? It's not necessarily to dictate to them what they should do, because, like Simon said, not everybody is able to do the same thing. So just asking what they're thinking, and if it's good, then hey, go for it. If it's not, maybe make a suggestion.
And don't let perfection be the enemy of what's good. So if you have a player, you don't want to say, hey, I want you to do a liner right over the shortstop. No, if bases are loaded and there's one out, just get it somewhere in the outfield. Don't worry about where it's going. Don't aim it whatsoever. I just want you to get it to the outfield. You're going to score that runner at third. So
another good way to look at it is when the top teams play each other, you don't see them scoring 25 runs apiece. So you're not going to win these games with offense. You're going to win them by manufacturing runs and playing defense.
Yep.
yeah.
So one thing I was going to bring up too is that we talked about having players in the wrong positions. I think in this division here, in the middle to the bottom half, sometimes we get players locked in the wrong positions, and we also switch people around a lot. Any pointers on assessing if you've got people in the wrong position, or how often you should switch players to try out new things?
Red Lion is strictly missionary, so I can't really comment on this one.
Yeah. Favorite positions?
I don't like to experiment a lot unless you're playing a team that you kind of feel like the game is well in hand. I have my veterans are at third, first, and pitcher, and catcher. So you're your best players are at those positions that you need them to perform game in and game out. So
there's a flip side to that too. If you're on the opposite side, you can experiment when the game is well out of hand.
But
if you're getting the shit kicked out of you, you can try whatever you want to.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
I also think this is for teams that are not doing well.
Yeah.
Versus the teams at the top. So I think that there's some experimenting that may need to happen. I could be wrong.
Well, I think that a lot of that experimentation also could come from the player directly and maybe not necessarily from the coach. Because from a coaching perspective, you might think someone's really comfortable with playing first base or really comfortable with being out in the outfield. But in reality, they might want to try pitcher or they might want to try third base and say, hey, that looks like something I can do. So if you have a player who is comfortable enough speaking out about that, try them out there because they have the confidence to tell you that there's probably something there.
That's a good point.
And I think about that there, Angela, is that with me, and I don't know about the, of course I'm a bottom 5 team. I don't know about the bottom half or the middle team. is that the communication is the key. What I do is like I hope the others way. You ask that player is like, okay, what are you most comfortable? Like, what if you try to do this position? And granted, I asked them before the game, and it's I'm not sure if I like it. Now I'll try it. Okay, we get that. But if they speak out like you said, like, hey, can I try pitcher and so forth? And let's say the game's already out of hand. It's like, you know what? Okay, go for it, and I'll just do that. And here's Marisa from Kicking Assets. What's up?
So what do you do when they speak out and they say, hey, I really want to do this, I really want to do that, but you've seen them in those positions and they are not good?
That's a really good question,
That's
actually.
a good question.
Because that's kind of like, that boils down to, a big difference between top half and bottom half is just generally communication. And how do you manage the personalities, I guess?
Spreadsheets.
We just kick assholes off the team, but I don't know if that's the correct answer.
Wow, hardball.
I think you just be honest with them and say, hey, like, this is the person who plays this position. Are you better than them at this position? And if the answer is no, then that's the answer for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or maybe even asking, like, hey, what are 3 positions, like, that you're interested in? Because, hey, third base, pitcher.
No. I think what actually probably. So I was only asking because I'm like, well, that sometimes works. So like letting them speak out on things like that.
Yeah.
When you limit what you actually say, hey, I think you should try this, this, or this, instead of saying, what do you want to do, this, this, or this, just say, hey, I want you here, here, or here. Which of those do you want? Because that's where you're going to be excelling at. Rather than giving them options of saying, where do you want to go?
Like getting their hopes up?
Yeah, instead giving them
And I
very
think, like,
limited amount of where you're going to go, saying, here's where you're going to play.
And I brought up that point, too. It's like when you have a player who's been at a position for a really long time, and they say, hey, I've been at first base, like, I'd like to try third, and you've never seen him there. Like, if they're speaking out about it, try it out. Maybe Jazz House, maybe try out Lee at third. I don't know. He's veteran, got an arm. I don't know.
I was actually thinking I've been in right field and I'd belong on the bench, but the same kind of thing.
Same.
Oh, my gosh.
So I think that's a good point. If you're looking at maybe your top talent on your team, seeing what are you comfortable with, lesser talent, you're maybe saying, hey, here's some ideas.
Yeah.
No, all you.
So
You're Sean again.
Yeah, from Louise's. We were playing Muddy this week, and I was like, hey, let's figure out our secondary positions, because let's figure out the fuck where you can play if someone's
gone.
Yeah, someone's gone. Let's figure it out, because we're getting our shit kicked in today, no matter what.
Yeah.
So let's figure it out and figure out where people can and can't be. And all I realized was I need to be in fucking right field. But at that point, I was in walking boot.
Bitch.
I mean, but that's a good point. Like, what do you learn from it being beat by 20?
Yeah, you have to make the most of it. And I totally agree with that approach, because
Like,
you can.
we knew we were getting our asses kicked.
Yeah.
So what was something that you learned from that? You said
not
right
much.
field?
Not much. I mean, I was in the dugout in a walking boot. I'm not anymore.
Got it.
I only
So,
watched
it was not good.
one kick in that
I'll
game,
tell
and
you.
I learned that Isaac is fast. That's what I learned.
I don't know who that is. Is he the fast guy?
Well, I think that's the right approach, because if you're getting kicked in, you have to experiment, figure out what works, and
Also-
that'll put you up against other teams that are similarly matched. That's the only way you can really improve.
Also, we existed a month ago.
Right.
And I just all right, rubber band, glue, and get the team together so we can have a team.
Yeah. That's probably something we forgot to mention when we're talking about the bottom 5 teams. Is part of it, part of the player retention is just everybody has to understand for the first 5 weeks you're just going to take your lumps, because it takes a minute.
Also, it was a lot to even get this team together.
Right.
Like the day before before the first games, we did not have enough guys. Like, hey, can we help? We go, yeah, like we can, but they're not responding. And it was really difficult to get that. And then it broke my fucking leg.
But you guys haven't forfeit. Once people get out there, they usually
We damn
come
near
back.
forfeited the first game.
Damn near, yeah.
Yeah.
But once people get out there, they usually come back. It's just holding on to them.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can hold on to them. And we're gonna be ghosts.
Oh, it's on.
So,
Katie might have left.
obviously now I play for Post House, and we've been bludgeoning teams.
Destroyed it.
But for 6 years I played on a team called the Mad Greek, back when the KBKL was all downtown businesses, and for the first 3 years, we pretty much got our asses kicked, and we started to practice, and I had like bunting practice for my team. I held. That's the thing when you're trying to get better as a team, you have to practice. And I don't know. I don't know how KTC is and Muddy Waters is, but like most of us on my team have played kickball for years, so practice isn't really. I'll be honest, we don't practice.
It's not necessary.
We had a practice before the season started, but it was like 5 of us. It's always 5 of us,
It's not just the skills thing either. Getting those a little bit of practice in helps with the communication issue.
Right. And but like, no offense, but when you're getting your ass kicked, if you're not learning from that ass kicking, then you're not doing it right.
Yep.
When you watch a team kick your ass, and you see how they kick your ass, and you feel that feeling of get your ass kicked, and you if you just accept that and just go about your day and don't change anything, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
You got to make changes. You got to make adjustments, and you got to learn from your mistakes. And that's all I'm going to say.
As captain of the Red Lion, Chris Neverbeat recommends a steady diet of drinking practice.
Yeah. I mean, Red Lion's actually at fault for all this ass kicking, because after you guys beat us last season, we were like, never again. Never again.
Just keep on telling yourself that, bitch.
So I mean, yeah, okay, never mind.
You want to go a little bit
I
more?
want to say something, but I'll refrain about the rivalry between Red Lion and Post House. But
So when we talk about the
Nope.
falling into like the 3 or 4 spot, I guess, with this, Simon, you were at the Woost game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I felt like
that was a great game.
it was a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Who won? I didn't remember.
Oh, are you trying to rub this in?
What?
Oh, Sean.
No.
It was the Woos pulled it out, but you weren't there for it.
I know.
And I was very sad. I was like,
I really didn't know.
I was like,
It a
where's my
reasonable
birthday,
question.
bro? Where is he?
The Woos pulled it out, but Dave just dropped his balls on the table.
No, I ref that game, and it was a game of capitalizing on errors, basically. I think both defenses had errors, and the Woost offense capitalized slightly more than Poshwash did on the errors.
This is the first time. I mean, for the most part, I think in the last few years, every time we've played, we have always lost.
Here's Sean from
Yeah,
Poshwash.
Sean, you want to share?
Meredith.
So it was a good game, great game. Definitely capitalizing off of a lot of errors, especially in the outfield. Not knowing situational kicking was, I think, biggest for both teams. Not as bad as I saw Jazz House, though. We're a young team, so I think we are kind of in that discussion of falling into a 4. We've always been a 3.
Right.
We've been a 3 for a long time.
A couple times too.
Yeah, I just get the
we've been as
distinct
high as a
impression
2.
that Cosgrove threw you some money on that Poshwash is going to be a 3-bet, and
No,
that you guys threw
you
that
know,
game.
you know that's what's terrible is I think I believed it more than anyone. It could still happen. Some crazy things would have to occur, but I think we're kind of settling into that 4. But it's more going to kind of the recruiting. We've got a lot of new younger players. Some people coming back that haven't played in a few years. We have 3 returning starters from last year. So we're in that awkward growing phase of the week before. We did kind of similar thing. We threw people around in different positions. We were playing John Denver. What kind of discouraged me at the beginning of the game was I went in and told everyone, hey, we're going to get our faces beat in. We're not expected to win this. Let's try and learn positional kicking, different fielding positions for everybody, see where they're comfortable at. And about, I'd say maybe 30% of the new players just kind of were like, what the fuck do you mean we're going to lose? And then they just totally tuned out. And, but going into this week, we kind of learned what we were dealing with and just didn't grow enough. Too many errors, not enough good base running. So Woos pulled it out. It was a great
close.
game.
Yeah.
It was a really good game. I personally don't think it should have been. I think we should have won. I think it was a must-win game for us. this season to get that 3, and now we're looking at a 4.
That's a good. It's kind of touches on another good point about recruiting, though, because it's kind of like if Poshwash really has taken on a whole bunch of new young players that are good but just aren't there yet, and they wind up in the 4 still, then could be 1 step back, 2 steps forward kind of thing.
It's all about the playoffs.
Sometimes you just take your lumps. Yeah, that's true.
It's all about those players. So those new players that haven't done so well thus far, by the end of the season, it's a long season as far as kickball goes.
Yeah.
By the end of the season, those new players could be game changers for that team.
It took Jazz House a few weeks last year, and then they were just gangbusters.
Exactly, yeah.
Until the playoffs.
And it takes a lot of mistakes to make a great player.
By the way, talk about Poshwash having 3 returning players and a lot of new players. Same thing over at Young Spine. Would you say, Ben, is that they only have like 3 returning players for Young Spine?
Yeah, and they got some athletes, but you can tell it's really just an experience thing for them.
Sure.
They could easily crawl out of the bottom 5, maybe even the bottom 12, but it's going to take a little time.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of potential. They were very athletic, and you could tell a couple of their guys, it was their first game, and they were a little bit like, I heard one guy ask, how long do we play? And the center fielder was like, well, we play 9 innings or 2 hours. It's like, well, it's not going to last 2 hours, dude, but you're going to be out here for 9 innings. And
yeah, I'm really curious to see what happens with them and Arbar, who play each other this week. But I think by the end of the year, if they kind of figure it out, I think Young Spine could be in that 20 to 25 range. And maybe Simon, now might be a good time, because Bunt and Grind has been pretty impressive this year, really, compared to past years. It seems like they've got a little something extra. And you guys are going to play them this week, right?
Yes.
So I guess we're kind of looking out for if you've seen anything in the scores to date that suggests to you what they might have done to crawl out of bottom 20 and into possibly top half.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. When I looked at our division, I checked marked Love Garden and Free State. And no offense to Bun Grind or Brew Ballers, but what's Bun Grind's record?
No, I thought I was showing you Button Grind's results and their records. That's all.
Okay.
That's all I'm showing. That's all.
But yeah, no, that's probably a mistake on my part. But I have not paid attention to Button Grind.
You got a prediction for your score?
No, I don't say that stuff.
Is it going to be more bunt or more grind?
I will say I heavily recruited this year, knowing that most of my team is pretty old. I'm getting married this summer. So all the honeymoon, all that stuff. Wild boys. And so I heavily recruited, and it was I knew, because we've had so many injuries this year. Last game, Richard got injured. We have a new recruit broke his foot. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't care.
That's just it's an epidemic. Not having played for a year, everybody is getting hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's the thing.
I also heard you instituted a new offense this year.
Yeah? Did I?
I think it was called the Hot Brown. Can you tell us about the Hot Brown offense?
Oh, no.
It's a sandwich.
Well, what's on the outside and what's in the middle?
I don't know how to play off of that. I don't know how to. You're not throwing me a meatball here. You're throwing me a curveball.
Well, speaking of top 15 offenses, you want to talk about what makes a team in the top 15?
Yes,
top
let's talk about that.
I also kind of like the bottom half to top half. What can those bottom half teams do to get to the top half?
Okay, maybe let's just all of us kind of list maybe 5 things that make a top 5 or 15 offense.
All right, I'll go first.
Yeah.
Bunt defense.
Wait, that's defense, though. Are we talking about offense? We're talking about all around.
Everything.
Okay, everything. Okay.
All right, what do you got?
I have in general. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Oh, what's going on?
All right.
Sean or Katie? Here's Katie from the Ghost.
Sean-
We got Luis's and fucking Ghost
Sean's
talking
drunk
right
and
A lot of
wants to leave,
rabble
so
going on in the audience here, guys.
We have a new rivalry starting. If we win, if the Ghosts win, Sean has to buy me a lap dance at the Bird, or vice
Lunch or lap dance? How about
vice versa.
Lunch and a lap dance.
The guy's like, on Friday, fried chicken Friday.
Fried chicken Friday.
Fried chicken Friday.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben.
There we go.
Sorry. Thank you. Bye.
All right.
That's the fucking bet.
All right, what do you got?
Going down, Ghost.
What do you got a prediction? I'm going Ghost by 2.
Luis is by 20.
Louise is by 20. Someone said by 20. Apparently, Sean was inspired by a certain someone about the 20 winning mark. Is that correct, Sean?
I came back from a fucking broken leg in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
All right, so
Let's
Go
move
down,
on. Let's
Katie.
move on. Let's move
Yeah.
on to talk about characteristics
Things
of
that
the
matter.
top 15 teams.
yeah, we got bunt defense. That's what I
Bunt
think.
defense. So that's one. Killer. So mine. I've talked to Phil, old captain of Wildman, new player for the Rockets. Killer instincts on the running path. So when you're running the bases, you are constantly trying to get to the next space. Top 15 teams do that.
But killer instincts should be more calculated. I mean, there's one thing to be killer instincts, then another thing to be like going cowboy up running as far as running the bases. And there's two teams I know, I know they're still like guilty now, who are guilty of going too much cowboy up, running around bases like it's no tomorrow. I'm talking about Red Lion and Harpies.
So
They go
we
too
we
much.
could
They go
say
too
good base
aggressive.
coaches also.
If they listen.
Angela,
listen.
what do you got?
No, I was going to say, listening to your coaches in general. And I think at that point, when you're in the top 15, your coaches should know what you can do, what your strengths are, what you're good at. So being able to listen to that coach and then execute what they say.
All right. Another one is the entire team has a strategy. It's not just the coach just keeping that strategy inside. There's communication. We're all on the same page. This is what we do in this situation. This is what we're going to do overall in this game. There's an entire team strategy.
You don't yell at your players.
I would disagree with that.
I think
Who yells at their players?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
yells at their players?
Yeah, who does that?
Who yells?
Simon?
No.
Who does that?
Cougar?
Me? I would do that? No.
All right. There is a difference between motivating your players and yelling at your players, right?
Yeah. Actually, Cougar, this is not a podcast. This is actually an intervention. And we're all here.
Please sit down.
We're all here to
Simon,
sit you
you're in
down
this too.
just to let you. What are you talking
You're in the
about?
intervention too.
No.
What are you
And
talking
if anybody
about?
yells at the players the most, or anybody can hear from another field, it's me. People can hear from me from the other field. So, yeah, if it's intervention, I'm listening.
It's both of you. It's both Simon.
Ooh, I got one. Speaking of intervention, alcohol control.
And you.
And Austin.
Welcome me, Austin.
I don't
Look at I'm saying on top 15, you got people that can handle their alcohol. You don't like the bottom 15 always have somebody that's hammered.
Man, this went from Birthday Bros podcast to the All Girls podcast.
All right. Recruitment, another important thing. I think being able to recruit good players.
Yes. Speaking of recruitment, there's Kenny. There's Kenny,
Kenny.
best player in the league,
Kenny,
best pitcher.
Nicole.
and you know
Kenny.
who recruited that guy? Paul Santos. Well, it's true. It's a true story.
Lou
It's a true
stole
story.
him.
Paul did do that, yep. He did.
Stole him.
He did. All right. Kenny's going to speak.
Now, here it comes. Here comes Kenny.
He's going to speak.
Best thing was it was at a cheese shop down the road.
The cheese shop? Is that what you said?
What?
Tea shop.
Oh, T-shop. I thought the cheese shop.
The story goes
It's
is
a
that
cheese
Kenny was
shop.
ordering a sandwich and Paul Santos saw that butt. And he was like,
I'll take that pickle.
he was like, ugh, I need that guy on my kickball team.
Nicole, can you speak to this?
Oh, my
So
gosh.
met him there, and
Speak
he
up.
was like, "If you want to try dodgeball, you can. You can kind of come and try out if you want." And I was like, Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, if there's fucking tryouts, it's going to be pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, do you play kickball? I was like, I don't know. I think like 5th grade was the last time I played, so
Yeah.
kind of stuck since then.
And history was made.
So we've got a few games that
History
are
was made.
going to probably determine the 1 spot. Johnny's, JDE.
Johnny's JDE.
What do we got? Predictions on this game?
So it's Johnny's versus who? I'm sorry. JDE.
John Denver.
Yeah, you got to hold this though because
I'll
you
go
have to do
first.
pick'ems for it and
I'll
shit.
go first. I'm gonna go Johnny's.
I'm gonna go with Johnny's by 5.
Oh, we gotta pick numbers here.
I'll go John Denver.
You're gonna go John Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you have any reason for that?
Well, when I played against Johnny's,
Yeah.
I felt like they're still figuring it out.
It was the first
Yeah?
game of the season, and they were sloppy.
Only
Yeah.
mostly one player that switched between catcher and center field.
Is that Michael Litton?
Michael?
No, it was Austin.
Oh, Austin, why are you playing?
Okay.
No, the other
So we're both right.
catcher super fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
really
one
good.
who's super good.
He's a
No,
lefty.
I'm joking.
So we're going to predictions on game. Ben, should we do our predictions right now since they already did theirs or not?
I know. Are we still in discussion questions?
No, it's discussing. Now they should do predictions for JDE
No.
Johnny's. They just did
I
that.
think we should probably move on to like kind of
They just
predicting
did that.
the next week's games. Yeah.
Oh, did we cover what it takes to be a world beater, like post house?
Well, why?
we got there. Yes, that's true.
Oh no.
All right, what's it take to win a ship?
There we go.
Yeah. So what's the difference between winning and being, say, the 5th team?
There we go.
We have so many secrets.
Share them all.
We have so many secrets.
Hold on, let me grab my
I've
pen.
noticed, I just want to talk about this because I've noticed that Post House, you guys have like 30 players, and that's completely opposite of what Kansas Tree Care, we have like 12 on our roster because we want everyone to be able to play and like get their reps in, and we don't want a lot of people split kicking, and we believe in like knowing your position and everything. So I know you talked about kind of like preventing injury and like you think people might get injured. Is there another reason why you have like so many people?
Wow, I feel attacked.
No, I'm legitimately like, I'm
She
wondering.
just stares me dead in the eye.
Just sitting over here, you are being attacked, and she said you're doing it wrong.
So well, hold on. Let's qualify this first. Angela, how many championships do you have?
Championships?
Yeah.
For KVKL?
Yes.
I have one.
One.
And how many years have you played?
I have played since 2015.
Okay,
Simon,
I've been playing since 2005.
How many championships do you have?
2 championships.
Okay.
She's got a better percentage than you do.
Well, there you go. I played in 3.
So what about to answer the question though? Having more players on your team this year than you did last year.
Yeah, because we're old. I mean, that's the bottom line. Like, we're aging. Like I said, I'm getting married, and I'll be gone on a honeymoon. There's a lot of factors. So one thing that happened in past seasons is you have injuries, you have people going on vacations, people have lives outside of kickball. Surprise, surprise. So for us, this year, even our subs are better than most teams' players. So, I mean, that's the main thing. I'm not like recruiting extra players that are just dead weight. They're all talented. Cedric.
So you greedy fucker, give some players to Cougar.
So yeah, there might be some players who don't get as much playing time, but the quality of players that I've recruited are people who understand that it's a team sport. Everyone plays their role. Everyone plays their part, and we all have a common goal of winning a championship.
Do you see your guys' rotation just getting a lot tighter as you get into rank play and playoffs?
Yeah, well, for the next 4 games or so, it's going to get a lot tighter because of injuries. Yeah. So, so that'll change. I mean, it'll get a lot tighter for the playoffs based off of performance. Yeah.
Well, and I
Also, just as an aside, I know I was giving you shit, but the Wild Man Championship is still one of my favorite. The year you guys became the hate fuck team and won the whole thing, just love it.
Against 2012 or
2012.
No, the most recent one.
Oh,
2017.
In my heart.
17.
Against KCC.
Yeah.
All right,
Best
cool.
championship game of all time.
Yep.
Best of all time.
Fantastic.
I wasn't on that team yet, by the way. I wasn't on that team. I was watching.
You were the missing piece. Although
What we-
it was funny hearing you talk about when you first came into the league with Channel 6 too, because I don't know if you were listening to the podcast ever at that time.
No.
But we were talking about you a lot.
I heard that.
Who is this new catcher on Channel 6?
Mike Anderson. And I heard, people talk about how we were on steroids and everything too. Like, I don't forget. I know who's saying that. But we lost to Sacred Sword. We were so shitty, but I didn't know how bad we were. So if you have no perspective and you don't know, I didn't know how many teams were in the league. It was like, sure, we had some close games, but I didn't know that we were bottom half.
Yeah, it takes a season to
That's
kind of
kinda
figure out what
nice.
everything
Yeah.
is.
And by the way, when we played in 2016 against Happy Shirt, I had Chloe as our 2 kicker, and I said I'm paying homage to Channel 6 because
Yep.
Angela was their 2 kicker.
Right.
That's literally what I said before we played.
Any other closing thoughts on the top 5 here?
Oh,
Or do-
no, I mean, at
Any
this point,
championship bets?
being on Kansas Streaker and being on, I've been on a couple good teams too, like Love Garden. Like Simon's already said, you kind of have this cohesive feel of like what the main goal is, and everyone's on the same page. You don't have players who are out going rogue and like doing things that they think is going to be better for them and not the team. And I think that's really important. And what your take on your question on recruitment is like, every time we think about bringing a new player in, like how is their energy going to affect our team? Not just like what can they add for their one specific part on the field. We're talking about like how are they going to be in the dugout? How is it going to be off the field? Like being very selective about that, being positive and not having someone who's just going to bring like negativity to our team is really important.
Angela, are you saying like one particular player in the league that's like that?
No, I'm not at all. I am not.
Who shall remain nameless?
I would.
That person knows who that person is?
Yeah, so all I really gather from the discussion about the top 5 is the 1, 2, and 3 teams need to drink more all the time, especially during and before their games.
We drink a lot.
More.
We
more.
drink.
We're trying to look.
Dude, I'm like 5 Moscow Mules deep. I couldn't even remember what this was called.
We're not playing now, though. So it's you guys are too good. It's fascist. You guys need to get more drunk and level the playing field. That's all I'm saying.
By the way, I can speak for this. For her to drink 5 Moscow Mules, she has superseded that Asian gene of us, my people, not being
I've got
good
Asian
drinkers.
flush. I've got Asian flush.
Yeah, but you're a much better drinker than, say, I am. I'm just pathetic. So,
all right,
everyone's better than
predictions.
drinking. I know. Yeah.
All right, before we get to next week's games, I want to thank this week's sponsor, Red Lion Tavern.
Oh wow!
Okay.
We were way late on that.
Well, I don't want to overpimp, but just so everybody knows, Chris bought a bunch of beer for everybody to take shotguns at Game of the Week this week. In addition to hosting all the soccer games, having the foosball, having the pool, being the official KVKL after-party destination. They've been a long-time sponsor, and it's just a big round of applause and thank you to Chris.
Woo! In case people know, what's the address of Red Lion?
You're at, I can't remember the address because I'm drunk every time I leave there. I think it's 944 Mass. All right, and you wouldn't want to give out the phone number, would you? No, I didn't think so.
Email? Is there a website?
Yeah, it's Facebook /Red Lion Tavern. If you can't figure it out, then I don't know what to tell you.
And also June 18th, Betsy and I will get married to Abe and Jakes, and afterwards we all plan to go to Red Lion to drink with our friends who
All right.
who are around town. So that's our destination spot. So thank you.
Early congratulations, and I can't wait to get drunk at your reception. All right, so let's look at next week's games. First up, we have Bunton Grind at Post House. Bunton Grind is 2-1, but I suspect in 2 weeks they're going to be 2-3. in my eyes, this division's already decided.
Yeah.
Simon, do you disagree?
I don't disagree, but
I'll say it. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
it's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
So I think Button Grind loses their next to Post House in a walk away.
No shutout?
I'm going to say no shutout.
No, I'm talking about Ben. We're talking shutout.
If you couldn't shut out Freestand, I don't think you shut out Button Grind either. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably shine a flashlight between them at this point, but that gives you something to work for, I guess.
Sharpening our knives.
Or sharpen the horns.
All right, agreed. Post house.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're in
Post house.
agreement. Next up, we have at YSC 1, 7 o'clock, Asteroid Head at 23rd Street. These teams are basically playing for the 4 seed. Yeah.
4 or 5, yeah.
So they were kind of our, their
Uh-oh,
bottom
here's
half
Kamish,
looking
here's
to
Stacy,
improve.
Kamish.
Not YSC1.
Oh, yeah,
that's right,
sorry.
they changed it.
It's
They changed it,
yes.
sorry.
It's Holcomb Field to be determined.
I think it's red. I think 1 got moved to red, 2 got moved to blue, 3 got moved to gold, and 4 is at left. I could be wrong, but definitely not
That
1,
sounds
2,
right.
3, or
That
4.
sounds right.
Can we flip this to put the teams with the strongest legs at left? Let's put Asteroid Ahead at Holcomb left to give them a puncher's chance against 23rd Street. All right. Anyway, so they're both 1 and 2. They both beat Hookah House, but 23rd Street beat them by 13. Asteroid Head beat them by 3. It seems like 23rd Street gets the benefit of the doubt. Anybody disagree?
No, don't just change the property crap. A to B, B to C. No, that's not going to work. I got Asteroid Head. No, I think they're the better team over 23rd Street.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going 23rd Street.
Yeah, I am
I'll
too.
go Asteroid Head.
Asteroid Head kicks dingers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Asteroid Head.
All right. Well, I'm going to say it's 23rd Street unless they're at Holcomb left. How's that?
No.
Then I think just they get too many home runs for 23rd Street to keep up. Next we have Red Legs at Kicking Assets.
Oh God.
Red legs.
Red Legs.
Red legs.
Red legs.
Should I say shutout? Should I not say shutout?
I'll go toe to toe with you on this one if you want to.
No shutout.
Yeah,
No
I think Assets has too
No
many
shutout,
kickers to
no
get shut out.
I don't think Red Legs go back-to-back shutouts.
All right.
No, they're
So
not JDUs.
next up we have D Holes at Triple X, Kiss Hug Kiss, Porn Spatulas, whatever you want to call them.
Tic-tac-toes. Get it right. Stop
Yeah.
it.
Tic Tac Toe Poke.
No, tic-tac-toes. No.
Yeah.
It's the PC version.
I played both these teams this year. I'm going to go with D-Holes. Their defense is pretty good. They've got some veteran players, so I'm going to go with D-Holes.
Yeah, they're basically playing for the twos here. Does
Yeah.
anybody want to take a flyer on Triple X, or are we thinking D Holes?
I think Thomas is still recovering from my bachelor party, so I think Triple S is going to win this game.
How much time does he need to recover? My
Deals.
gosh.
Wait, he's
several
recovering-
weeks.
Oh no,
What's that? Several weeks?
Yeah.
So it's in the IL, several weeks to the recovery?
no, the recovery is a positive thing. He's going to win this game.
When you have a life-altering
Oh.
experience like Simon's bachelor party, it's tough to
Love
not
you, Aries.
dominate coming out, I guess. All right, so next we have Shirt Factory at Sacred Sword. So this is a weird game now, and we didn't talk about it earlier, but Drop Stoppers lost to Shirt Factory by 1 run.
Wait, did anyone see that?
No.
No one saw that? It was just like an enigma?
I heard that from Adam, the captain of Drop Stoppers, that Shirt Factory popped up a lot of balls out in the outfield. They should have bunted more and to take advantage of their beaten up status. And here's Max.
Yeah.
Hey, Max.
I
Brian
ref
Puppies.
that game. Drop Stoppers was on their shit. They kicked amazing, and at the very end, I think it was Andrew, slid into home, and McCray got an out. We spent 5-10 minutes talking about this the very last play because it was
Yeah,
to
Adam
tie the
mentioned
game.
it on Facebook too. That's
It
why
was
I asked.
nuts. It should not have been that close.
Yeah.
Shirt Factory was just getting 3 outs.
Where
and
were you
not-
reffing?
Home. I was doing the book.
You were doing the book.
I was doing the book.
So you thought he was safe?
I thought he was safe.
Oh.
Third and head ref said he was out.
Right.
I couldn't see it because
he just said safe.
away. So
Let's see.
All right.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So
on the
very
recording.
close down to
It
the
was
last
very close.
down to
It
the
was
last
the
runner.
last play.
Down to the last runner,
Yeah.
down to the last out. The more important question is, do you think Drop Stoppers is better without Bryson?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, we had Shirt Factory over Drop Stoppers by 1, Drop Stoppers over Sacred Sword by 1. So the scores would suggest this might be close, but
No, I heard a source told me Sacred Sword going to be missing players, Marisa. Marisa, your anti-Shirt Factory bias, quiet down. They are.
What are you picking here, Ben?
Sacred Sword's missing players. I heard from a source that Sacred Sword's missing players, Marisa.
Okay, well.
So, Sacred Sword's missing players this next
Okay,
week.
just to clarify, it's nothing against Shirt Factory. It's just.
No, you have a bias.
Sacred Sword. I mean, shit, 26-8. They got so many home runs because they were hitting the balls all the way to the fence, sometimes even over the fence. I mean, I had no
They're
idea
missing
that they
players
had
this
those
week,
deep
but
kickers.
they're being missed
if
players.
they don't have all their players, I can see them losing to Shirt Factory.
Yeah.
They're not going to beat them.
We
still.
should also
Even
mention
regardless,
that
Shirt Factory's
this
gonna
is
win.
going to be at a
Stop,
random Holcomb field that we don't know yet, so anything is possible. But I guess my thought is it's got to be Shirt Factory because if Sacred Sword wins this is already a fuck division because they're like all
I
the
think
teams
that we
are.
ref this. Yeah, they're on gold.
Yeah.
So it's a big field.
Yeah, if Sacred Sword wins, this entire division is just completely fucked.
There's
so
no. You really
I'm
see-
picking Shirt Factory,
Yeah.
but rooting for the fucked.
But Shirt Factory, they're not going to lose 2 divisional games there. Come on, not 2 divisional games. No.
I'll
man,
go
you said-
Shirt Factory as well.
Shirt
Yeah.
Factory, yeah. Come on.
Shirt Factory.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sacred Sword, Marisa, your predictions last week, you were drunk. Stop.
Wasn't
You
she?
said D-Holes would beat KTC on a walk-off last week.
Am I crazy, or did she also say that that Drop Stoppers had a chance against Shirt Factory and they almost tied him in the bottom of the ninth? So watch yourself.
She also said that when Love Garden Brewtown would be a close game. It was 21-8.
Yeah. Okay. So she was drunk most of the time.
See?
All right. Next up, we have Tree Care at Hookah House. So this is a 3-0 versus 0-3.
Shut out. Calling it.
Cougar
Yeah,
says
I'll
shut
agree.
out.
I'll agree with the shutout there.
Shut out.
I kind of feel like Hookah House might be able to put 1 run on the
No,
board.
shut out. No.
I predict Tree Care getting tired of winning.
All right, Angela, do you have
No,
anything to say about this one? No?
No.
That's very demure of you.
Here's my prediction. Angela will get the
Make
shutout
it
at the final out. She'll spike it on the ground and just like stare it down at Hook House saying, what?
Yeah.
No, that's totally me.
I mean, she's been staring me down all night.
That's my prediction.
All right.
What?
Next, we have what looked like it was going to be a competitive game before the shellacking last week. It's Jazz House at Muddy Waters. And Muddy doubled up Jazz House last year 14-7. Yeah, Rick, do you have a
Explain
prediction
yourself.
for the
I
Muddy
gotta
game
tell
here?
you, I'm going to tell you right now, Rick. Your team last week against Honey Badgers did not look good. I did that broadcast, non-pressed. Non-pressed. Nope.
Mutter, Cougar, can I say something, or do you want to talk some more?
Go on, Reebok. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to quote Cougar here, Muddy by 20. Does that make you happy? Muddy by 20?
That's actually Bryson's
That's
thing,
Bryson,
but,
not me.
yeah.
Oh, that's Bryson? Oh, I thought it was Cougar.
That's Bryson, not me.
Oh,
What are
okay.
you talking about?
I'm sorry, my bad. We stranded 15 base runners in that last game. And so I'm just having some trouble with the bottom part of my order, and we'll get it sorted by tournament time, I'm hopeful. But yeah, Muddy's going to kick our ass, but we're going to have fun. We're all friends. And the most exciting thing for me next week is that I get to ref John Denver and Johnny's.
Yeah.
And that is going to be a really, really exciting game. And I'm
Johnny's
also
so exciting.
really glad that I'm going to have a couple of buddies from Muddy to help me ref that game, because that's going to be a close game. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really
Okay.
glad that those 4 teams are on the same field.
Yeah. And then the last thing I want to say is a shout out to Kenny and the Honey Badgers. Those guys are really, really good. Kenny is one of the best third basemen I've ever seen in this league. The guy, he's so fast.
What's his
And
last name? Kenny who?
Camberline?
That's right.
Yeah. Camberline. Yeah.
We got 2 great Kennys here in the building, so.
But he was just gobbling up our bunts, and he's so fast, and he just starts running the second they kick the ball. And I thought, he's got to be crossing the line. So I was watching it, and he doesn't. He never, ever does. He just accelerates. He continues to accelerate, and he's able to pick up the ball and throw it while he's continuing to accelerate. And he was beating their catcher, Aaron, who's also excellent, Aaron Brooks,
Yeah.
to the bunts to throw our guys out at first. Yeah, yep. So Honey Badgers are definitely a force to be reckoned with. And if they end up in the twos, it's going to be a lot of fun for them.
Yeah,
So-
I was thinking the same thing as if Muddy wins this game, I don't want to be in the threes with Jazz House because it takes them a few games to get the team in order, but that could be a massacre. I don't know.
Agreed.
Also, if Kenny's got a good liner, then they're missing out on the Kenny Caber liner nickname. Next up, we have Pick'em game number 1. JDE at Johnny's.
They already made their pick, so it's our turn. So
I'm going Johnny's.
Yep.
I changed it up.
No, I've already
We're
said
also
Johnny's.
we also need you guys to pick a spread on this one because this is the bonus game.
Yes, that's true. So what did you say, Angela?
I said Johnny's by 5.
By 5.
David, how much is Johnny's going to win by?
Johnny's by 2.
What do you say, Kenny? I mean, Simon. JDE and Johnny's. So you said Johnny's by how many runs?
I said Johnny's by 3.
3. Since I'm going to combine the two of you, so should you go with 2 or 3? I'm going to combine you two. So which should we go, 2 or 3 for the books?
Call it.
You know what? Since
Give them both.
3.
That's fine.
Okay, 3.
Yeah. No. Give them 2 and 3. That's fine.
Oh, no.
Sure. Why not?
The spread.
The spread, no.
I know, but they can have both. Still unlikely to happen.
Fine. Okay. I'll go next. You know what? No, like I said, Johnny's like, I played both teams in. Both of us, well, shocking, they bludgeoned us to death and run ruled us. TKO, so. I just because I get a little bit more like big game experience, a little bit more game experience, I'm going JDE. JDE by 1. So.
I'll take the over on that.
JDE by 1. But it's going to be a really close game, but it's going to be tough. Here's Lauren.
Lauren.
Go ahead, let me have it, Lauren. What?
I'm just going to take another opportunity to recommit my bet here publicly.
Tell everyone what the bet is.
I'm going to give $100 to Bert Nash if we lose. If anyone wants to vote the other way, that'd be cool too.
Avery.
I'm in with you.
Lauren.
Yeah. I've already got the flip side of that, don't I? Yeah.
Okay. Good,
Yeah.
good.
You just have to remind me because I was wrong when I made
Hello,
it.
this is Austin Wagner. I'm the captain of Johnny's. I'm gonna give $100 to Bert Nash when we win.
All right.
Nice.
All right. I'm going to give $100 to Bert Nash when JDE wins and when Austin loses. So,
JD by how many?
yeah, Bert Nash is winning either way.
JD by how many?
By $100.
What do you think?
So, look, JDE has been kind of sloppy. But these teams are not that much different from where they were last time they played. And last time they played, JDE won 11-3. They both got bumped in the quarters.
Yep.
I feel like Johnny's probably got a little bit better.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I shouldn't say this because this is like their secret weapon. All right, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Austin needs to shut the fuck up.
I think
that's their secret weapon. Yeah. If we can get Austin to not coach at all, I think they would win by double digits.
Oh, dear.
That's the secret recipe.
Here's Matthew Cosgrove, the ghost.
Okay, so I just reffed a game with Johnny's and Wags being captain, and at the second inning, he said, guys, bunts off, but still be aggressive.
No, he yelled it, right?
Yeah, but he was like, let's not embarrass these people.
Right.
And the whole time, Cougar was yelling at everyone on his team about how he's better in their position. So, I don't know. Weird coaching styles.
In summation.
All right, and then I'm going to leave it alone. But I've got mad props for Angela here because in the first game that I ref this year, once again, ever since Austin has been in the league, I have to explain a rule to him because he doesn't know any of the rules. He'll sit there and yell and scream, "Wait a minute, you can't do that!" Austin, watch a baseball game. Never happened. Never happened.
Classic rugby player.
By the way, let me just say this about this JDE and Giants game. One thing is if they cancel each other out is that both of them have really, really good ladies on both sides. Last week, of course, like Jesse went 5 for 5 and just like the 8 outfielders for lunch. But JDE against Mahomes in the first game, two of their ladies are really, really good. And I'm not including the one they picked up from the stands because they look at the third lady and she went 4 for 5. So even JDE, they have a good couple ladies as well. So the ladies' fight will be canceled out because they're fantastic. on both
So
sides.
can I just mention something about Carrie on Johnny's? So when Michael played for my Thursday night 365 league, he was like, "Hey, my girlfriend could play if you guys need a girl. Like she could be pretty good." And I was like, "All right, cool." And we needed a girl, and so she shows up. I'm like, "Michael, what the fuck, dude?
No,
You've
he
been
said
hiding this girl out?" Like,
and he said the same thing to me
was
when we were playing on Thursday nights. And I asked him, I was like, can your girlfriend track a ball in the outfield? Was my only question. That was my only thing.
And she
he
shows up
he
and
said,
she's-
yeah, I think so. And then you see Carrie, and she's just like the fastest
The
one out
best-
there, knows exactly what the fuck to do. It's like,
wow.
yeah, Michael was like,
way to
"I'm gonna leave with
undersell,
my
way to
girlfriend.
undersell
She's way better than
your
me."
gal.
And on the mic, here's Carrie from Giants.
Yeah.
I'm just the secret weapon. It's totally fine. But
It's
my
Carrie.
props to KBKL and K635. I love
Yeah.
all my squads. Represent Lawrence. That's all I have to say. Just nice things. Just nice things.
By the way, right there is a nice little rivalry to argue the two, who's the best, lady in the league between Carrie and Angela. It's you both are really, really, really good. So
Yeah,
so
they're very good. They're very good.
We're on the
Who,
same team.
not
We're
the
a
same thing.
package deal.
It's a rivalry. No, that's why KBK has a rivalry. No.
Who was the team that beat
Wow.
Muddy in 2019? There was one team that beat him.
Was it JDE? It was JDE. JDE beat Muddy. Yeah, they're out of town.
That was the year before when they
in
were
rank play they lost one. JDE beat Muddy Waters in rank play.
That was when KTC beat the shit out of Muddy Waters in the championship game. So
That was 2018. Yeah.
Right.
No, it was JDE. They beat Muddy Waters in 2020.
Love Garden?
Right. So
it was JDE.
yeah, only one team has beat the champion in the past year and a half roughly, and it was JDE.
Yeah.
They beat the crap out of Johnny's last time they played. I think they get the respect here. I'm picking JDE by 2.
JDE, like I said, okay, they beat Post House last year in rank play. Did they not, Simon? And they
Oh,
beat
yeah,
Muddy
by a
Waters. Like
lot.
I said,
They whooped our
and here's the
asses.
thing. Johnny's get this prop. Johnny's gets a prop, and they should. But people are underestimating JDE.
No. Well, I think that's the problem is that in the ones, we underestimate JDE because we're like, oh, fuck, it's a shoe-in. Like, it's JDE. Like, it's
Yeah, they're
Avery.
sloppy. They're sloppy.
It's
They don't
Avery,
give
it's
a fuck.
Filer. Like, you know what you're getting. But that's the problem, right? Johnny's is hungry as fuck. I know that they're hungry. They're out for the ones. They want to be in the ones. I've got Johnny's.
I think JDE is still hungry too.
Drop the mic.
I disagree. I think JDE has more like big game experience, like you said, beating Muddy Waters, beating Post House. That's why I got
Let's
that.
leave it there. I don't like betting against Angela.
No, they didn't beat Post House. They beat whatever our team name was. Was it Jackpot?
Black Stag.
Black Stag.
Jeez, you're on the team, dude.
Yeah, I was the captain of the team. Yeah.
From the black
Sorry.
stag to the hot brown in one season.
I thought you were going to be what's your dog's name?
Oh, Bird Dogs.
The
yeah.
Bird Dogs.
Oh.
Bird Dogs,
I mean,
yeah.
we secretly are.
All
Secretly.
right. Next up, we have Posh Wash at Cougars Mahomies.
Oh gosh, Sean, where are you? Are you still here? No.
Gosh.
So what's the line there, Ben? On the
I
10?
said it was 15. I think
Oh,
Posh
gosh.
gets healthy here. Although I didn't realize that they, when I said that, I didn't realize they had 3 returning players. So maybe let's drop that to 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'd take that. No, I'm not betting. I'm not going to bet who to win over under. We're going to lose, but I'm not going to bet over under 9.5. No. So, no, the Poshers will win. They'll win. So.
When Cougar doesn't bet, I know it's an under.
I don't bet. Everyone, 888 bets off. If a game problem, 888 bets off.
All right, next
Everyone
up,
out there.
we have our second pick'em. It is R-Bar at Youngspine. So I play both these teams, and I say that R-Bar Rum Runners against Youngspine. I say R-Bar has slightly better defense. Youngspine has slightly better offense.
Okay. Anybody want to?
So does the sponsor, does Yacy play for that, for Young
Yeah.
Spine?
Yes,
She does, yeah.
All right, I'm going to go for Young Spine.
I'll go Young Spine also.
Do I need to predict an actual score?
No,
that's not. No, we did one of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Young Spine also.
I second that. I'm going Young Spine as well.
It's going to be close, though.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to pick R-Bar now. You guys all picked Young Spine.
No, you already picked R-Bar initially, anyways.
Right,
we're all going Young Spine. So yes.
Yeah, I'll take R-Bar.
Oh, by the way, real quick, sorry, the standings here from last week. Ben, you went 1-2. MC went 1-2. That would be Adam. Somehow, Marisa went 2-1 with her wacky predictions.
Yes, he told
And
you.
somehow I went 3-0. I don't know how that happened.
Hey!
Yeah, I know. So Ben, myself, and the MC are 5-4. The guest is 4-5. So really tight contest. Sorry, Ben, you couldn't replicate your 27-3 from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
With a bonus point. at
Hey,
the end of it.
on the flip side, I'm pretty sure between us all, we called all the shutouts. Some of us
We
disagreed.
did.
Yeah.
That's true. I think we did. Yeah. So we're good at that.
All right. So next up we have Free State at Brewtang. So this is kind of like the opposite of the BNG game. So if Free State, so I had BNG losing the next two and dropping.
Yeah.
I have Free State winning the next two and rising.
Yep.
And I think they're going to flip
I
spots.
agree. I got Free State.
Does anybody give Brewtang a chance here? They've been respectable for a new team.
No.
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 So the third baseman for Free State, Austin, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Austin Myers, yeah. Amazing. He's an amazing player. He was very upset about our game, and rightfully so. You know, it wasn't great for their team, but dude, he's such a good player.
Yeah,
he
he's
is
a good player.
such a good player.
Yes.
And he will be out for blood after that game.
It's actually a good.
They're veteran players.
Yeah.
It's like a good backward segue to what we were talking about, top half, bottom half.
Yeah.
A third baseman like that can put you in the top half on his own.
Yeah.
Or if you sell pictures taken by a drone.
Right.
Oh,
Top
yeah.
hat, top hat.
But real quick, the Free State, much like Lawrence Shore Factory, they're in a little transition. Not as good they were 2 years ago when they beat Chalmers in the first round in the playoffs. They're in a little transition. They're just not as good as they were.
They're in a tough division too.
They're tough.
They
You're right,
are,
but even
agreed.
so, but they only beat
Cougar, you called that the toughest division at the outset. Actually,
I
multiple
did.
people
Yes,
did.
that's
Yeah.
true. So, but
Not
they,
for Post House.
I feel bad for my little rascals out there.
I know. I feel bad for him
But
too.
Free State, Free State only beat Bun Grind 6-4. So it's like,
Right.
I know Bun Grind's better, but
Yes, you have to be determined whether Button Grind is that much better or Free State's that much worse.
I think
though.
Free State's gotten worse. Honestly, for me,
Well,
Free State's
we'll
gotten
see.
worse,
If they
yeah.
beat the shit out of the next two teams, then we might be speaking
possible,
a different tune.
yeah.
All right, next up we have Reading Rockets at Corksuckers. Reading Rockets in their inimitable quest for the 6th seed.
Yeah, somehow Ring Rockets only lost 16-6 to Harpies.
Yeah.
What the heck? I figured Harpies would win by, well, I have to quote, unfortunately, that one dude by 20
I think Harpies sleptwalked through that game, just guessing.
or something. I don't know what they were like 16-6. I'm like, what?
By the
Well,
way,
Rockets are getting better.
By the way, I do have video evidence of Grant saying that he was going to beat all of the 1 seeds, including my team.
All of the 1 seeds?
Oh yeah.
Is that guaranteed?
Video evidence.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. He said he was coming for my team.
I would take that bet.
Specifically.
No. Stacy, what? Ay.
All right,
Why would you allow Grant to do this kind of a guarantee?
He doesn't
sort
actually
of?
think that.
What?
He does.
Explain, Stacy.
We bunted in the first. After that, there were no more bunts allowed. We moved around. We had a fun game. Rockets ran. We had a lot of hero throws that we shouldn't have done, but we were having fun.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
it. That's it.
now let's talk about Grant and that
Grant
guarantee.
wasn't there. He thinks that's what whatever.
Let's talk about video evidence about being the one.
Grant's in the house.
Yeah, that's what
Hey,
we're talking.
Grant, how's
We're
it going?
talking about future games here.
Future games, yeah. So.
All right, next up we have Soda Jerks at Honey Badgers.
Hold on, did we pick on the last one?
Do we have to?
No.
We have to. It's Court Suckers. It's Court
And
Suckers.
if anybody wants
It's
to pick
Cork.
Reading Rockets,
It's
I'll
Cork.
give you odds. Yeah.
It's Court Suckers.
All right, next up we had Soda Jerks at Honey Badgers.
Oh, jeez.
Does anybody want to pick Jerks here?
No.
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 Didn't think so.
Sorry.
Why are you be sorry?
Derek Davis, sorry.
No, don't be sorry to Derek. He's
Okay.
fine. He's fine.
Derek Davis, if you're listening, below me.
Also, good luck this Saturday in your disc golf tournament.
Yeah. Josh, if you're listening, we all love you very much.
Absolutely love you.
Yep. Amen.
Next up, Love Garden at Home Loans. This doesn't seem like a fun
Is Home Loans
game.
going to score a run this season?
No. Okay, that's okay. Number one, I just want to say, it's my stepbrother who is the captain of the team. He had like
and their
2
best-
weeks
and
to
their
get
best
the team
player.
together.
Yeah.
They had 2 weeks to get their game together. And I ask him every single week, are you having fun? Like, are you, you guys lost by like how many? I told him it was going to be bad against Post House. And he said, yeah. And I asked him, like, are you planning on coming back this year? And he said, we're in this. Like, we're going to come back. We're going to come back every year. So
Hell yeah.
I commend
Hell yeah.
that. Like, I commend coming out, not being able to score, and just learning every week. I mean, he went to Dick's Sporting Goods and bought a kickball and thought, like, this ball's red. Like, is this the same ball we play with? And not knowing, like,
It's wrong
no, we
size.
have to get special balls. We got them from Stacy. We're trying. I'm going to try to help him a little bit more, but I think they're having fun, and I hope they have fun in the sixes.
I will say we were 32 out of 32 for a long time.
Yep.
And now, we're going to be either in the ones or the twos this year. So, I mean, there's only one way to go.
Yeah.
And it's up for them.
Totally.
So
They're having fun.
Yeah.
They could. That's the good news. Is
Let's-
they could
let's-
not possibly
let's
do
bring
worse
him
than they
down,
have done.
Cougar. Bring him down.
Well,
It's
no,
just-
and
it's-
I think that's something to be said about the league, and they enjoy even being out there just for an hour and a half. Like,
Even
the
against
league
us.
and against Post House.
Yeah.
Like, they're having a good time.
Yeah, no, they were a great team. Like I said, like your stepbrother, like, man,
Gage.
Yeah, Gage. He was amazing. Their first baseman was amazing. Actually, honestly, all of their players were amazing because a lot of it was their first time ever playing. They kept up their spirit the whole time.
Yeah.
They're- I mean, great potential there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I just hate to be the the bad news that the 17-0 to but Bun Grind's never shot anybody. It's Bun Grind. It's a 17-0 to the home. I was like, what?
Well,
What a shutout? Like-
that
never
just shows what we talked about. Experience matters,
They
so.
never shut
Yeah.
out the Mahomes.
Yeah.
That
No,
seems
no.
unlikely.
Bun Grind's never got a shutout. Never in their whole entire franchise history. They've never got a shutout.
Yeah.
All right, so instead of picking the winner here, why don't we just take vote on whether we think they'll score their first run this week?
No.
I don't think so,
No.
but I'll try to help them with their lineup.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait till the sixes. They'll get shut out by Free State the week after.
Yeah,
No.
it's all uphill from here.
Yeah.
Hang in there, home loans. All right, next up we have Ghosts at Louise's. Talking about Ophers, both of these teams are 0-3.
There it is. And this is the battle for the sixes. Basically, 5 and 6 with Ghosts and Louise's.
Yep, very likely.
Wild boys! Wild boys! Wild boys! Wild boys!
I'm going to go with the Ghosts because Cosgrove's going to bring that W.
It's got to be the Ghosts.
I'm going with Ghost.
Yeah,
too.
Ghost,
Yep.
come on.
Yeah, I
Ghost.
think experience wins here, but if
Experience for sure.
especially if Cosgrove brings in that hot brown defense.
Hot brown. Oh my gosh.
Hot brown.
Next up, we have Empire at Drop Stoppers. Empire has done better this year than they did last year, but it's a small improvement. So does anybody have Drop Stoppers on an off week here? Assuming Bryson's back, they might be worse than they were last week.
So my older sister plays for Empire. She was supposed to play for Hannah's team. Kind of got shafted in that situation. Ended up on Empire.
Well, Empire's done better than Home Loans so far, so I don't.
Right. So yeah. So my sister versus Angela's stepbrother. I'm gonna go with my sister. I mean, they're not playing each other, but I don't know.
So you think Empire's going to score a
This
run?
is getting out of hand.
All right. Next up, we have Woost at Leafy's. Woost is looking at a 3-1 record here.
Yep. No, I'll be Woost.
Yep.
I don't see the shout out. I got Woost. No shout out.
I've got Woost.
Yep. All right.
Are you going to call a shout out, David?
Come on, Dave.
No
Just
comment.
Say it. Just say it.
He's. No comment. That means he wants to. I mean, he wants to.
That doesn't know that.
Dan
David,
Mount-
that means.
Shutouts are fascist. Let them score.
Dan Mounta wins.
Yeah. We'll let him score.
All right. Last one.
What?
We have Game of the Week is back. Red Lion Tavern, our sponsor, at
Red Lion?
the Ladybird Harpies. So the bar versus
man.
the breakfast place.
Look at Grant and Chris
No, it's
Neverby.
old
They're like
school
so close.
versus
Look
new
at them. They're so
school.
close to each other.
Old
In the
school.
audience, look
I
at
want
them.
these two to
New
be like a
school.
boxing
Yeah.
face
Look
off.
at them.
I want these to be a boxing face off, like where you stare at each other for like 10 seconds.
I like that.
Yeah, stare at each other.
Let's
no,
hear
don't
it.
hug.
No, they're hugging.
No, God, that's not how you do in boxing. Stop
Grant
it.
or Chris, do you have a prediction here?
But I like that Grant had to pick him up.
I'm sure Grant has a prediction. Let's come on, Grant.
Grant,
Come on,
okay,
Grant.
Come on,
Come
Grant.
on, Grant.
Come on.
Hello, Grant.
You're young and full of juice. Give us
Let's
a
see
score.
what out of control prediction you have here. Let's
Here's
go.
Grant from
I have a
Harpies.
prediction it's going to be one of the most fun game of the weeks that we've had in a long time. Because it's been
At
a
least a
long
year and a half.
time. Yeah.
Closer, Grant.
No, I think it's going to be a great game. I'm excited to have like a competitive game coming into this. Got a lot of new players on my team, and I'm really excited to have them kind of see what it's all about, especially under the lights.
So deflower them, basically.
I just hope we're going to keep on doing what we've been doing. And if by 15, be cool.
By the way,
no, but as long as as long as all my players stay on the field and don't go to the hospital like the last time we played the Lion.
Now, Grant, real quick, hold on. Before you go, Grant.
That was a very loose prediction, but it
Before
was
you go, couple things.
Lady Bird by 15 is what
Remember,
he said.
You guys have never won a game of the week, haven't you? You've never won.
No, we've never won the game of the week.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Hey,
Still,
Stacy,
you're
you
still for the
wanted
first
this
win.
one.
You're still
Stacy,
for the
you
first
wanted
win.
this one.
Number
Okay.
two. If I recall, you and Kyle against Poshwash went too much cowboy up running, and it cost you runs and losing to Poshwash.
That could be definitely a possibility because that was like 4 or 5 years ago, and I was 21 years old and coaching a team, and
Are
I
you
was
gonna cut that stuff down, or are you gonna still be cowboy up running?
I think I've learned my lessons.
Okay.
I think I've learned my
hope so.
lessons. I think
hope
it's gonna
so.
be a good game.
right,
I'm not saying we're going by 15.
Because you're facing another team
It's
who
Harpies by
loves to go
6.
cowboy up running. That's red line.
Lady
They
Bird
also
by
love to go
6.
running.
6.
And speaking of Master Cowboy up running, here's Trist.
Oh, thank you, Cougar. Chris,
Welcome.
Red Lion here. It's going to be a great game no matter what. That's what we're going to have here for have some fun. Last time we played, I think they came back and beat us.
Yeah,
late.
it was a nice back and forth game.
Yeah,
and
it
I think
was close the whole time.
Credit to Lady Bird. I think that's the most runs we've given up in like 4 years or
So,
something like that.
We know it's going to be a good game. I have no idea about our team. We haven't had a complete team yet together this whole season. This weekend should be somewhat close. The important part is we're all going to have a whole bunch of fun. And 7th inning stretch should be a good one for sure this time. We're bringing back the league-wide shotgun.
Boom.
And hopefully we'll have Troy Pomeroy leading the way for us too. If he comes to the game of the week, we shall see. The invite is out to him. And I'll always have my team's back, so Red Lion by 5.
By the way, for those shotgun, only 20 or older, younger, don't do it.
Go ahead, Cosgrove.
What is it, Matthew?
Okay, so I've been watching both these teams for years, and after seeing Red Lion shit talk Wildman into a loss, I don't think the Harpies can handle the trash talk and the mind games that can happen from Red Lion's bench.
Well, they won't do that versus them. They'll only do it versus us.
I think Grant is going to be literally angry at Chris after this game.
I don't know, Simon. So the secret sauce here is Hensley is playing a show at Replay at 5:30, and we're all going to practice for this game by going to the show.
And even before that, though, the Euro Cup starts this weekend. The Red Line will open at 8 a.m.
Yes.
If anybody wants to come watch England versus Croatia
nice.
Go
and
England.
get an even earlier practice going.
Red
Come on
Lion,
down.
Red Lion gets better the drunker they are, and we could have players on the team that have been drinking since 8 o'clock in the morning. So, I don't know here.
I'm going Red Lion.
Who you guys got? Red line? Okay. Anybody else?
I'm gonna go with Harpies. I have a lot of athletes that I trained since they were like in 7th grade, so I'd like to see them kick some old ass out there.
By the way, are these kids there? Did they feel the wrath of the Impaler as their
They
trainer?
did,
I
yes,
believe it.
very
Believe
much. And they played D1 soccer.
Yeah.
Let's go second gen.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Harpies. Red Lion only beats teams that they can talk shit against, so they actually like the Harpies, and so they won't be like mean-spirited and
I think Harpies has an
like talk
advantage
personal
with
shit against
them
them.
being
and-
drunk by 9 p.m.
Simon, we like every team except for the one you're playing for, and we beat people constantly.
Exactly, yeah. You guys only get personal when you play against us.
I'll go next. Stacy, how long we know each other? How long we know each other for a while? I don't know. How long have I always picked against you? Almost every time. Unless it's obvious. Guess what? I ain't picking against you. Yeah, that'll be Red Line.
No. Cougar's always wrong.
The Cougar curse does not exist. Be quiet. Stop it. No, it does not. No, it does not.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Cougar.
Oh yeah, I'm the reason why if your team loses, I pick you with you guys to win.
Yeah,
Stop it.
absolutely.
Yeah, sure, that's exactly how it works with KVKO.
If we lose, I'm spiking your drink with cyanide next week.
This is dark.
So Harpies has won all their games by double digits so far this year. I think that says something, even though.
But you have a shutout. You have a shutout on your belt.
Yeah. But really, I think the
You know
question
what?
is.
Sorry, you just said no shutouts. I don't want to shut out a team.
No. They have a shutout under their belt. Grant. I said they have a shutout under their belt. They shut out under their belt earlier this season.
It's really saying the same thing two different ways. So, Grant, really the question is not whether or not I'm going to pick us, but what are we betting?
Oh, no. Here we go.
Aww.
Don't fall in the trap,
I don't know,
Grant.
Ben.
Don't
what
do
are we
it.
betting?
Don't do it, Grant.
I don't know.
I think you have something good in mind here.
I can promise we won't try to send anybody on your team to the hospital this time.
That'd be great. I'd appreciate that.
Let's bet. Wow, my mind is racing in all sorts of dirty directions. I don't know. How deep do you want to get here?
What kind of deep are we talking about?
Well, I'm talking about loser has to buy the entire winner's team a shot at the bar.
All right.
Yeah?
I mean, that's kind of unfair, though. You got the red line. You're going to get, like, the discount over here.
No. Loser has to buy the winner a shot for everybody on the team at a bar of their choosing. How's that?
It's got to be at one bar, though.
No,
All right. I like that.
Dude, we can actually. How about this? If if Red Lion wins, you have to buy us all a shot at Red Lion. Ladybird wins, we'll come down and buy you a shot at Ladybird.
Except for Ladybird isn't open yet. Which they will be opening up soon for some carry-out things going on.
You're on to me.
Or we'll just come to Red Lion and take a shot there. That sounds good to me, too.
All right.
Yeah.
Shots for either side.
All of my legal players.
Yeah. Chris, you got my back if we lose?
Thanks for the caveat, Grant. All legal players. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, anyway, should be a great game.
Yeah.
Does anybody have anything else they want to say?
Nope.
No? Shout-outs? Somebody give a shout-out.
Shout out to Dave Owens. Happy birthday.
Shout out to Simon Skinner. Happy birthday.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.
Angela, you want to shout out anybody?
Shout out, what?
Wow, boys.
Shout out, Wow.
Wow Boys. Bachelor party. I know you guys saw those snaps.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out.
I'll shout out Lou, your worst half.
Lou. Where's he at? The bathroom.
Cougar, you ready to take us out?
I'm ready.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I really hope this stayed live the entire time. I think we fixed it, but couldn't be 100% sure. Yeah, we finished a half hour earlier than last time, and that discussion lasted forever. That should tell you how juicy it was.
Later, everyone. Have a good night. All right. Hey, thank you guys for
Thank
letting
you,
us.
guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, that
Who
was
made those puns? Those were great. Who made those puns? Those were great. Those were fucking great.
I mean, there's no way it's going to be like Stop. It was a good, like, hybrid.
Wow, boys.
Yeah, it really was, yeah.
So we need to talk about Chris Neverby and his amazing bar, the Red Lion Tavern.
Thank you for joining us for Matthew Cosgrove's after podcast
You
party.
can show up there and, oh my God, I'm going to describe this photo of Grant in the bathtub. So he's doing, it's a triangle bathtub with a lot of granite tiles. He's looking like a member of the Jamaican bobsleds team. He has a pair of really terrible Chuck Converse underneath the faucet with some really tight brown pants. But the yellow, purple, and red vertical striped shirt is kind of doing it for me. He has one arm up over his shoulder. His left arm looks like, he has a mask on his forearm, but he has a yellow flat brim hat backwards with his Donegal beard. A Donegal beard is your classic Irish Alaskan fisherman beard.
That's the captain of a losing team if I ever saw
He's
one.
doing a little look like, I really think the Red Lion needs to put out shirts for this week with this on it, because this is amazing. It looks like if you go onto Pornhub.com and look for Amateur Grant, this is the first thing you'll see. Because I don't know what I'm feeling here. There's no water in the hot tub, but he's in there. It's no drinks either, but he looks like he's ready to go. So
Look for this photo on the beer board, on the Untapped board at the Red Lion Tavern all week long.
So the untapped drink for the Grant Alvers.
Ask for
you'll see it.
SWM.
Thank you, everybody. I am your late night commentator, and have a great time.